Hello and welcome to Wildlife Cam. Still mostly elephants of the herbivores coming to drink. Later on in the week we started to get impala and zebra, but I think the bush is still quite lush, so they don't need to drink as often. Very happy to see Genet 3 coming back. This is the one with the more distinctive dark markings. It's been quite a while since we've had it here. This is the same male that was here with another lioness a few weeks ago. He's part of the new group of 3 males. He's got some distinctive scarring on his face, so maybe that's why he gets all the ladies with his rugged good looks. Doves walk like they're wearing shoes that are too big for them. The civets have returned in force, so we've had civets 1 and 3, and then there are 2 sub-adults that appear later on in the video. big caterpillar is from a hawk moth, I think a silver-striped hawk moth. And the little one on the left is one of the many species of geometrids, also known as inchworms or loopers because of the way they move. Now the hawk moths, they come in a few different flavors. You get this chocolatey version, and then there's also a lime green version, and then the previous one looked like a mixture of the two. A very fleeting glimpse of a honey badger, but it still counts. So a couple of hours after Civet 1 was there, Civet 5, which is one of the new youngsters, you can see it's significantly smaller and also fluffier. Now, Civet 1 appeared with one of the youngsters later on, so I'm assuming it's the mother. But it seems that they're just about independent now because they spent a lot of time here over the last few days, the youngsters, without any adult present, and it seems that they do become independent at 5 or 6 months old, which seems quite young. Very playful, though, much more playful than the adults. I think this one is going after the fish. It didn't catch anything, despite its best efforts. This is a male golden-tailed woodpecker. This is an old post in our garden that's had no use for years and years, and finally someone's found a use for it. The previous day that only just started, so it took a day to make a decent-sized hole, and by the next day it was pretty much done, although it seems that they're enlarging the inside because I can hear picking going on the inside, but I can't see anything. Home sweet home. Now these are the last clips of this trail camera, which was unfortunately smashed to smithereens by an elephant. I'm not sure if things get smashed that aren't smashed to smithereens, but this one was definitely in smithereens by the time the elephant had finished with it. At least it managed to get some footage of the happy Civet family. It's had a good run, this camera. I've had it nearly 2 years and it's seen a lot of elephants coming past, but unfortunately when you get an elephant that's motivated and it's just decided it's had enough, there's not much you can do. A lot of close calls leading up to it, but this is the guy. Now I assume that these civets, the youngsters, are not identical because carnivore litters are usually not identical, though it is possible. But looking at the close-ups, because they've been visiting a lot of times over the last 3 nights, probably more than a dozen times, and every close-up I look at, they look the same. So there was one which looked slightly different. The spot, the arrangement of the spot pattern was the same, but the spots themselves were slightly different. But I don't know if that's just due to the fur being slightly fluffed out or maybe a slightly different body position, so I'll just have to keep looking at them and see if I can determine which one is which. And then Civet 3 also showed up, but not with the youngsters. But they were without parents for so many of the visits that it seems that they're just about independent, so I can't say for sure whether Civet 1 is actually the mother or Civet 3, but it's most likely that Civets 1 and 3 are the parents, and since Civet 1 was there with them, probably the mother. Carl likes to bathe alone. Doesn't enjoy it when the riffraff start intruding, but eventually he gives up and moves off. These two arrow-marked babblers really wanted to have a bath, but they weren't quite sure of themselves. Eventually a little weaver comes in and tries to show them how it's done, but they weren't having it. They chased it away. The youngsters are quite curious. I don't know if it's the water lilies themselves or if it's the fish swimming around there that get their attention, but they're really interested in that spot. After the adult left, the second one, you can just about see it, that came in on the left, and they spent quite a long time just playing around the waterhole, chasing each other. And then another visit from Genet 3. I don't know if they've been off having babies somewhere. You just don't see them. They're so secretive with their babies. And then the mongooses returned after an absence, banded mongooses. And there was a whole stack of them, lots of babies in this lot as well. They must be loving the conditions at the moment as well, because there's lots of long grass and other vegetation for them to hide in, and stacks of little animals, insects and rodents and reptiles and the like for them to eat. And finally we had some zebra, quite a few of them. There must have been about 20 there, as well as some impala, so they're making their way here from the floodplains. Thanks for watching.